Well, I have a question for you, Mr. Richard Pro.
Yes.
Can I see your last name?
Proceda.
Procida.
Proceda. Yes.
Procida.
Hmm.
Um, so how did you, I don't know much about, I didn't do my research into coming into
Yeah.
this group.
That's
I just said
okay.
the title and it got me in. And I was like, I'm
Okay.
really interested. It had nothing to do with politics, but I was like, I'm interested in this.
Okay.
So if you don't mind me asking, what started, what
Hmm.
got motivated you, inspired you to do what you're doing now?
Okay. So I'm a survivor of fairly severe sexual abuse, and I had a lot of problems in my youth with trying to meet women and being around women. I ended up studying feminism in college, and I learned, I thought I was, and that was where I needed to be. I had a transformative mystical experience in that class, and I decided to minor in the study of women's and men in society. And I started a feminist anti-pornography group called People Against Pornography. I wrote a book on, it's somewhere here, on um, which examined a textbook on social attitudes and laws in different countries around the world or regions around the world about sexually explicit materials. And so I did that. And and then, I still didn't had the struggles. And then I was dating a woman. I wasn't really dating. It was just another one of those relationships that I really didn't want to, it wasn't going to go anywhere. Um, I I was coming not to like the person, and and eventually she went outside the relationship on me, but that was expected. It wasn't really exclusive anyway. But the whole thing was I suddenly started doing this research on YouTube, and I ran on dating coaches. I thought, I needed dating coaches, stuff like that. And you have dating coaches on YouTube you can go to. And and then I started to discover, well, how women really are and understand their dark nature and understand, because it's so painful to learn all these things, but it's been painful all my life. And it sort of opened up. I sort of started to put things in context. I started to have some repressed memories come up. And a repressed memory is just, you always, it's like something you always knew but didn't think about very much. And then it helped me to understand what happened to me and why it happened. It put it all in context, particularly the good genes versus the good dad thing, and the alpha and the beta, and women's dual mating strategy, what she called a pluralistic strategy of having great sex with, like, I knew from as I was getting, by the time I got out of high school, I already knew that there are men women like to and have sex with, and then there are men that women marry. And I decided, and maybe this is not exactly right, but I decided I wanted to be the one that women wanted to have sex with, and I didn't want to be the sucker. And so I knew that from along, but other than that, I was totally whacked out. I had been abused, and I had all these issues. And but I discovered the red pill, and I started to learn about how women are. And now I'm having a lot of success in dating. Um, and I'm meeting the women that I want now. And I'm discovering my value. And I'm discovering that I'm really good looking and desirable. And, I'm not really letting women push me around anymore. And I don't have the blue pill attitude that causes me to be in states of sexual scarcity. And I date non-exclusively, and I'm meeting the women I want. And so that's how I came to this. And then I've been doing podcasts. I did the Bible study for progressives, in which I wrote on the scripture readings for Sunday morning to help pastors have a progressive message to preach on Sundays. Then I started working on democracy, and I just did an event yesterday and reminding people about what happened on January 6th. And I did that for a while because I felt democracy was threatened. And then I discovered the red pill, and I just said, wow, liberal people need to be red pilled too. They need to understand, because we're kind of getting a bum rap a lot of times, man, because we're demonized because of our, as players, and as if we date non-exclusively, if we date other women, we're demonized as players. And we have to deal with this, sex. You don't have sex unless you're exclusive with me type of arrangement that these women are demanding, but it's a demand that's not based on anything but in helping them to avoid being second best. Because, yeah, so when you're dating multiple women, a woman can get hurt, right? One's going to end up second best. You're going to end up marrying one and not the other. But for women, if they keep you in that relationship where you only have, you're exclusive, then they don't have to worry about that. But the man ends up with nobody in the end. So the man gets hurt. So it's really about who gets hurt, not about exclusivity or monogamy or anything like that. So I really recommend men find those relationships that can provide them with intimacy and affection, and sort of and move from there, so that women can't push you around in the dating and try and make you give up all your options and capitulate to them. You just because you gotta be able to meet a lot of women to meet the women you want, and you can't just go one at a time like that, or else you're not going to meet the woman you want. So, so that's sort of where I'm at. And so now I'm feeling like this is a big thing, right? That a lot of men are turning to authoritarianism because they lost their authority. They don't want women to really change. They want women to be submissive. They want to go backwards, right? But if they went forward, they would see a route forward. But they want to go backwards, and they can't. They can't stand up to women. Even the red pill guys, oh, women aren't going to change. That's not true. There's consciousness rising. We've changed as men. We don't yell at women on the streets. We allow them to judge us. We allow them to be our bosses and supervisors. We treat them with respect as best we can. We've changed our behaviors, and so now it's time for women to look at their behaviors and see how their behaviors are harmful or toxic or not helpful to relationships, and exploitative, abusive, entitled. But if these men could only stand up to women, if they can only say, hey, I take my authority back. No, no, learn how to say no. And they wouldn't need to turn to dictators. But anyway, it's something else. That answer your question, Calissa?
Yes, thank you. Now I'm gonna Google you after and be like, "Where's your Gmail account?" Questions, and I know you're a pretty busy man, from what you just said too. But I do want to pick your brain a little bit. I do have some questions. Is there a place we can submit questions to you? And if when you get
I'm,
a
I'm,
chance.
I'm gonna put my email in the chat right now,
Oh, okay, great.
and that way you can take that and ask me questions. And we have this discussion. There it is. We have this discussion every month too.
Oh,
So
you are a Gmail.
yes, I am a
Sorry,
Gmail.
I'm sorry.
That's very good. So, all right. Thank you, Carissa.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for answering all that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Samuel. Thank you,
Yeah,
Ryan. Thank you, Chris and Chris. All right.
Kristen.
Well,
I'll
all right.
You're
I'll send
welcome,
out
Mr.
to
Pursuta.
Kristen.
Thank you, Ryan. Talk to everyone next month, okay? Next month. Okay. Bye.
Krista, you from America?
Yes, yes. Thank you, Samuel.